I always knew I wasn't his kid. That much was obvious. I mean, we didn't look alike, didn't act alike, and definitely didn't think alike. But I thought maybe, just maybe, being part of the same household meant something, that even if he wasn't my biological father, we could still be family. That illusion shattered the moment I woke up one Saturday morning, expecting breakfast and weekend noise, only to find the house empty, no car in the driveway, no note, no texts, just silence. It didn't take long before I realized they were gone, all of them. My mom, my stepdad, and his two kids. And they hadn't just gone out for a few hours, they were on vacation. A vacation, without me, no heads up, no invitation, no explanation, just packed their bags and vanished while I was asleep. And when I finally called my mom, heart racing with panic, all she said was, "Oh, sweetie, I thought your stepdad told you. It was just easier this way." Easier. That word rang in my head like an alarm bell. Easier for who? I wasn't some stranger, I was her child. Yet, somehow, I'd become invisible in my own home, a side character in someone else's family vacation. At first, I just sat in my room, confused, hurt, angry. I opened the fridge, empty, no groceries, no emergency cash, no instructions, like I was an afterthought, left behind with zero regard. I called my dad. We hadn't been close since the divorce, but he picked up on the second ring. "You okay?" he asked. I didn't even try to explain. I just said, "Can I stay with you for a while?" He said yes, no questions asked. And that night, I packed a small bag and left. It was supposed to be temporary, just a week or two until they got back. But what happened next changed everything. When I showed up at my dad's place, something cracked open. He greeted me with open arms, cooked real food, and most importantly, listened. No dismissing my feelings. No brushing things under the rug. I told him everything. The years of favoritism, the quiet exclusion, the way my mom always picked her new husband's comfort over my needs. He listened without interrupting, without trying to fix it, just listened. And for the first time in years, I felt like I mattered. A few days later, my dad filed for joint custody. The moment he did, all hell broke loose. My mom came back from vacation to find out I'd moved out, and she wasn't happy. She called me sobbing, saying I was making a scene and hurting the family. My stepdad tried to play the logical card. "You're overreacting," he said. "We didn't think you'd want to come. It was a lot of money, but that wasn't the point. The point was they didn't even ask. They assumed, they excluded, and they acted like it was no big deal." My mom begged me to come home, said things would be different, that they'd include me next time, but I wasn't interested in being someone's second thought anymore. I told her I was staying with dad for a while. I needed space. I needed clarity. She didn't take it well. Within a week, she was calling daily, leaving voicemails, sometimes angry, sometimes crying. My stepdad sent a text saying, "You're being manipulated." Funny. I'd lived in that house for years and never once felt seen. But now, the moment I stood up for myself, I was suddenly important. Here's the thing, people don't talk about when it comes to blended families. Love isn't automatic, it has to be earned. And my stepdad never tried. He never once took interest in my life, never showed up to a school event, never asked how I was really doing. But he had no problem planning full-blown vacations for his own kids while I watched from the sidelines. At my dad's place, I started to heal. I got into a routine. We cooked together, talked about life. He helped me with school stuff, supported my hobbies. And slowly I started to realize I'd spent years settling for scraps of affection, begging for acknowledgement in a house that wasn't mine. But now I didn't have to beg. I could breathe. My mom tried to guilt me, told the family I ran away, said I was angry and confused. But when I spoke to my grandparents, they heard my side. And you know what? They understood. They even said they'd noticed the imbalance long ago but didn't want to interfere. My aunt reached out and said, "It's about time someone said something." That support, it gave me strength. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't overreacting. I was finally standing up for myself. Months passed. I didn't go back. My mom stopped calling. My stepdad never apologized, and I stopped waiting for either of them to change. Sometimes, the people you want most to protect you are the very ones who leave you exposed. But that doesn't mean you have to stay vulnerable. Sometimes, Choosing yourself is the loudest act of rebellion. My relationship with my dad grew stronger. He encouraged me to chase goals I never thought I could. I started a part-time job, got into college, made new friends, people who didn't know me as the forgotten kid. They just knew me as me, and for the first time in forever, that was enough. Every now and then, I still get a message from my mom, usually around holidays. She sends photos, smiling selfies of her and the rest of the family. I don't reply, not out of hate, but because I'm done begging for a seat at a table where I was never truly welcomed. What I went through wasn't okay. No child deserves to feel like a burden in their own home, and no amount of vacation photos can undo years of neglect. But I've learned something important. Just because they're your family doesn't mean they're for you. Sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away, not to punish them, but to protect your own peace. And sometimes that decision sets off a chain of events that reveals the truth, who really loves you, who really values you, and who only saw you as optional. I'm not bitter anymore. I'm better. Because the boy who got left behind doesn't exist anymore. In his place stands someone stronger, someone seen, someone who will never again let anyone make him feel forgotten.